This is the problem with having wood on a boat. Wood just means maintenance. It only takes a few weeks and the wood is dirty and dried out looking, which is exactly what our door to the console on our project boat looks like right now. So what we're gonna do is clean this up and oil it to make it look fresh again. It's also falling apart, and whoever owned the boat last did some handiwork here to keep it together, but we'll get rid of all that nonsense too. If you didn't need to fix your wood door or whatever you are working on, then you could do the cleaning part of this process with the wood still on the boat, but when you have to fix a door like this, the best way is to remove the door from the boat. We'll just pull out the screws that attach the hinge to the door frame and remove the door from the boat. Once we've got the door out and on a suitable workplace, we'll take off all the patchwork that is holding the door together. And over time, these doors come apart where the dowel joints are, so we can take off any of the parts holding these joints together and then wiggle the joints apart. Then we can take out the centerpiece of the door, whatever style centerpiece you may have, and then once we get the door apart and in pieces, we'll need to clean off any old sealant that is on there from whoever tried to fix it before. You might have to use a screwdriver or something to pry the joint apart. Then we need to get all the old dowel pins out. Some of them can be pried out, but others you will need to drill them out carefully so that we don't drill into the door pieces and mess up the holes where we will put the new dowel pins. Sometimes it helps to drill the center of the pin out with a smaller drill bit and then work our way up in drill bit size before we can get the pin all the way out. But then we can get in there with a pick or something to get any leftover dowel out. Now that the door is completely apart, the dowels are all pulled out, and the holes are ready for new dowel pins, we can clean up each of these pieces. There are tons of different teak or wood cleaning products out there, and I really don't know which one is best. But what we are going to use today is this Snappy Teak New, which is a two-part cleaner system with these two different brushes. You'll want to do this somewhere where you can use some water as you clean the pieces, but you basically just have to take the first part or Formula 1 of the cleaner and spray it on a wetted piece of the door. Then use the brush to brush out the dirt and buildup that is on the wood. Like any chemical or cleaner, you want to wear gloves here and keep this stuff off your skin. There is some labor in cleaning these pieces, but you just have to do each piece individually with the first part of the cleaner, and then spray the wood off with water as you finish the sides of the piece and get all the dirt off of it. Then once we've got all the pieces clean, we'll do the same exact thing with the second part of the cleaner and the other brush, spraying off the pieces as we go. Make sure to keep the pieces to each part of the door together, and then once they are all clean, we can clean up the mess from taking the door apart and bring the pieces back inside, laying them out so that we can put a fan on them to dry the pieces back out. You want them to be dry before putting them together, and I wouldn't oil them until after we put the door back together as well. You'll notice that they come out with a dry, freshly sanded look to them, so we need to oil them, but if we oiled the pieces before putting the door together, then it would affect the way that the wood glue holds the pieces together, and it wouldn't hold for that long. So we'll just take some new dowel pins. You can get a pack like this for like $3 at Home Depot or Lowe's or your local hardware store, or you could even make your own out of some treated lumber that will last longer than these will. But it seems like doors like these on a boat only hold together really well without needing work done to them for only a few years, then they start to rattle apart again. So I don't know if it really matters not using treated wood, since someone will have to take the door back apart in 5 to 10 years anyway and redo it again. Plus you'll probably find termites in the door anyway. So we'll glue up the new dowels and then push them into the connecting pieces of the door. You'll probably need to use a rubber mallet or a dead blow to push the pins in all the way, and then we can put those pieces together with the other parts of the door where they go. Before sliding the center pieces of plexi in, we'll clean these up with a little polisher and some of this turtle cleaner wax. It's a pretty amazing difference between the before and after of these pieces once you use the polisher. Then we can slide those pieces into the door and glue up the last set of dowels and push them into the connecting pieces and push the other side of the door on, using the mallet to get the door all the way together. Make sure you have a wetted rag around as well. This way you can wipe off any of the excess wood glue that you are using. You don't want that to dry on the door and just look bad in general. So wipe all that off and use some clamps to clamp the door together, and we'll leave that overnight to dry and set up together. Now we still need to clean the frame of the door that is on the boat, and I like to put some tape or something on the fiberglass that is around the frame. This chemical can mess up the fiberglass paint, gel coat, or anything that is stained as well, so the tape keeps us from scratching it into the fiberglass. You'll also want to make sure you are spraying it down and washing the stuff off the deck and the boat as you go around cleaning the frame. Just don't let the chemical sit on any part of the boat for too long, and work your way around the frame with both parts of the cleaner until you get all the way around, and we'll do the second part of the cleaning process as well. Once we've gotten all the way around the frame and it is clean, we can remove the tape and make sure that everything has been sprayed off to get all the chemicals and old dirt off the boat. Now that it's the next day, we'll go ahead and oil up the door pieces before putting the door back together. For this, you can just use some good teak oil, and we'll put it into a little cup or something so that we can take a rag and dip the rag into the oil, then simply apply the oil around the door in all the locations. Just work your way around like you would with a stain and just evenly apply the oil all over the door. You don't want to make it really heavy in some areas and light in others, or else it will look like spots all over the door. Once the door is oiled up, we can reassemble all the pieces of the door and the hinges, and now we can take our door back to the boat and oil up the frame before installing the door. Then just screw our door back into place and we'll install a new handle on the door, and voila, look at that. Now that looks way better than it did before, and now it opens and closes the way it should. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and let us know if you've ever had to do anything like this and what types of cleaners you used in the comment section below. Check out some of our other videos and we look forward to seeing you next week.